How do you find a way to escape an active extradition warrant? How the fuck are you traveling the world instead of being in jail? How do you do that? Well, I'm trying to tell people what I know to be true.
Why?
I'm going to say something controversial. Fuck it. Back to jail. What I like to do is talk about, if that makes sense. I can be happy and stressed at the same time. I can be happy and miserable at the same time. In fact, part of me is happy when I'm miserable. I enjoy being miserable, like a grumpy old man. You know, like the grumpy old man who takes the kid's ball and punctures it because they kicked it over the fence? That's a little bit me. If I have to be in a bad mood to get things done, then I'm happy to do that because I want my things done. So how am I really doing? I guess a lot of people would answer that with quite a emotional, intangible answer. But for me, my answer is very tangible. My empire is succeeding and flourishing. My children are fed. I'm alive and breathing. I have enough money to buy most of the things I want. So I think I'm doing very well. And I don't think how I feel actually has anything to do with it at all. And that's why, to go back to what I said earlier about talking about the question instead of answering the question, when people ask me how I'm doing and I say fine, even if I'm in a bad mood, I will still say fine. And I think I'm telling the truth because I am doing fine because I'm alive and I'm breathing. Although when most people ask me how I'm doing, I don't say fine. I say, if I walk into a store, in fact today I walked into Louis Vuitton and they said, "How are you, Mr. Tate?" And I said, "Rich and stressed," which is the truth. So I'm quite truthful from the beginning. But how I'm really doing, well, everyone's eating and I'm alive. So I think I'm doing pretty good. That's right, and we're not used to hearing it because a lot of us are autopiloted, right? How are you doing? Fine. You? Good. It's all autopilot, all this small talk, this introductory chat. So you're right, most people answer because they know people don't care, and people don't care because they have their own problems, their own stress. And there isn't a single person on the planet who doesn't have stress and problems. I actually have this outlandish, crazy theory that basically everybody is the same level of stressed, depressed, and anxious, irregardless of their situation. I would say that the most famous, well-known rich people on the planet, or the people who can barely pay their bills, everyone is feeling. I've caught myself doing this. I'll have a huge, gargantuan problem. For example, 25 years in a Romanian jail. And I'll have a huge issue to deal with. And it's all I think about. And it stresses me out. And the second I fix that problem, the next day the gardener doesn't show up. And I'm just as angry about the gardener not showing up as I was about perhaps losing my entire life to Romanian jail. I'm like, why is the grass not cut? I paid this guy early. He asked for money. Now he hasn't turned up. He's drunk. Find me a new gardener. Before you know it, I'm just as mad about a small problem as I was about the big problem because I've solved the big problem. So even if you have a fantastic life, you're always going to have small issues. And I feel like you just make the problems bigger if there's no big problem to fill the space. I think everybody is basically the same level of stress. Everybody has something they're preoccupied with. Everybody has a degree of anxiety. Everybody has something they're not happy with. Everyone to a degree is slightly depressed about X, Y, Z. And the difference in the personalities are simply the people who complain about it, talk about it all the time, or let it get them down, as opposed to the people who say, okay, well, this is the human condition. This is how life is supposed to be. I'm an adult, and I'm never gonna be happy like a child ever again. So this is how I'm gonna deal with my life. I'm gonna look at all the problems, accept them as serious, and smile anyway. So I don't think anybody is any happier than anyone else, to be honest. And the reason people think there are some people happier than them is simply because they have a better social media editor. They have a better camera. You know, they can capture the right angle and get a good edit. And then they can convince the entire population at home that they're happier than everyone else around them, because that's what filming yourself or recording yourself having fun are completely different. Like if I go out in my Bugatti to have fun and then we try and film it, it's awful. If we try and record me having fun in the Bugatti, it's like, okay, back, forth, no, do it again, no, turn around, do it again. Okay, when you do it this time, window down. Okay, you end up doing it, it's like a Hollywood movie. And by the end, you're having no fun at all to try and get this edit where you're having fun. And that's the lesson for these people you see who are on holiday or doing all these amazing things. If it looks too fun, they've tried too hard to make it look that fun, meaning they've had no fun. And this is man, I see this all the time. You see girls sitting there on their phone, bored. They don't even want to be there, but I guess, you know, their boyfriend's paying their rent, so they have to be. And they're sitting there, and then they get their phone out, they start their Instagram story. So the story is them partying, but the reality is they're miserable. But they'll put the act on for the full 6 seconds. And this is why people are caught in these spirals, in these traps of believing people are happier than them and that they're more miserable than others, because everything is comparative. But truthfully, the secret to everyone at home is that everybody is the same. Everybody has the same degree of stress, anxiety, depression. irregardless of their personal circumstances. That's what I truthfully believe. I don't believe anyone's really any happier than anyone else. It's just about having the mental fortitude to say, I don't care whether all these bad things are happening. I'm going to smile anyway. This is the secret to life. There are some people who don't show their greatest moments. They cry to camera, or they try and show their worst, most negative moments. Because unfortunately, social media is a game of trying to trick the algorithm. And to trick the algorithm, you have to get people interested. And to break people out of apathy, they have to see something abnormal. If you sit there and say, it's an average day and I'm enjoying my cereal, no one cares. If you sit here and go, this is the worst day of my life, I'm going to tell you how everything went wrong for me, maybe they'll care. If they sit and say, this is the best day ever, do I drive my Koenigsegg Jesko, my Pagani Hyura, or my Bugatti Chiron? Which one do I drive? Top depressed, because they're in a depression spiral of constantly seeing people outperforming. You have women who are depressed because they're not happy with their boyfriend, because they've seen girls with boyfriends who get G-Wagons full of roses and private jet flights, and their boyfriend can't afford it. And they sit there and go, why does this girl deserve all of these things when I don't have these things? Well, the truth is because she's a prostitute. That's why. But they don't say that. So you're sitting there being envious of a prostitute, a life you wouldn't even really want if you knew the truth of it. So the algo is the matrix now, and it's got everybody going down these rabbit holes, whether it's highlight reels of people's lives, or there are other people who they put something up which is negative. They show sadness, they show that they're depressed, they cry, and they get more attention than they've ever had. So what does that do to the human mind? If I show that my life is terrible, I get more attention, more recognition, more validation than I've ever had at any point in my life. Well, let me do that again. Let me just not, the next day I'm not going to say it's fine. You're going to do that again. That becomes your entire personality. The algorithms are controlling everything. And that's the matrix. This is here we are, because society by and large, I mean, even me now, I go on Twitter, I can't tell what's real and what's fake. It's impossible to even tell what's real and what's fake. You can't tell who's real, you can't tell who's fake. All of this is completely organized to push people in certain directions. And if you want to truly be yourself now, you have to get to the point where you just unplug. Social media used to be about showing your real life and trying to be a real person and being able to achieve validation globally for doing that. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the only way you can be a real person now is to turn that crap off, because these algos are so... And the story is that his life path was just, he's a guy being pushed from place to place. He didn't really have any control over any of the things that happened to him. And that's how most people live their lives. They're a feather in the wind of algorithms, which is pushing their attention from place to place, deciding what they care about, deciding how they feel. Imagine waking up in your house with your wife or your husband or whoever and your child, and you've got your job, you've got your savings, you've got your hobbies, you play paddle, you do whatever, you've got your entire life, and you wake up and you open your phone. The first video you see can decide whether you have a good day or a bad day. Think about that. You could be on the bus or the tram or in your Mercedes or in your fucking Pagani, whatever, on your way to work, and you can see a video of someone who had something terrible happen to them that makes you feel grateful for your life. You can see a couple in love that makes you feel grateful for your partner. Or you can see some prostitute on a yacht who's partying and you're sitting in traffic. And now your day is ruined. The algorithm has controlled how you view your own life. And these people still believe they're sentient. And this is the world we now live in. The algorithm decides who's liked, who's hated, who tells the truth, who lies. This is the reality of everything. So, you know, going back to your earlier question, how are you really feeling? Well, I think that's not up to people anymore. I don't think people decide how they really feel anymore. I think the Instagram and TikTok algorithm decides how people feel now. And that's what's scary, because who knows how these things work? Who elected these people? Who's in charge of these things? What money pools are behind these things? So it's a scary world. Don't control me. You have to detach from your human side to a degree. You have to pre-decide. These are what the things I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to conduct myself. These is the way I'm going to act. These are the things that will be done. And when all of those are done, I am fine. How am I really doing? My things were done. The algorithm tried to upset me. It tried really hard. It tried to piss me off. But even if it succeeded, I did the same things.
If I asked you, who are you, Andrew?
I am the son of my father. And I think that the easiest way to look at life, especially as a man, is in that very simple paternal regard. You are the son of your father. You carry your father's last name. You are here to represent him into eternity. It is your job to not only create sons, but be the kind of father to your sons that can create a lasting legacy for your father, their grandfather. So I think my primary objective on earth is to be the son of my father. I think this is the best thing I can possibly be. I try my very best to be as competent and successful as possible because this is a man's primary objective, is power and resources. This is what we're here for. Our primary objectives are not to be happy. Our primary objectives are not to be content. You know, I've had this conversation so many times with women I'm dating or whatever. They're like, but what makes you happy? I'm like, I don't need to be happy. I need to be rich and powerful. Stop talking. I have things to do. They're like, yeah, but you're stressed. Of course I am.
Emery?
Correct.
Oh, really?
Yes, Emery Andrew Tate, same as my dad.
Emery.
Emery Andrew Tate, yes, same as my dad.
So you're number 3.
I'm number 4. I love the name Emery, and I wish I used it. And as stupid as this sounds, because I've been called Andrew basically my whole life, it's a bad habit. What's your name? Andrew. I want to start saying Emery, but now everyone knows me as Andrew Tate. I can't really change my name. I'm globally famous Andrew Tate now. It's kind of annoying, but my mom used to shout Emery in the house and we both answer. So she goes, you know what? You're Andrew and you're Emery. So, I wish I still had the name, but my son will be Emery. So all be Emery.
Your childhood in 3 words.
I think it was regimented. It was disciplinarian. But it was happy.